Welcome to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt on the radio, on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and on talklawradio.com. Today's going to be a great show. And just to remind you that we're in San Antonio, surrounding areas, and Houston. So howdy to everybody in Houston. And you can find us there. Well, if you're listening to this on the radio, you know what station you're on, don't you? KNTH 1070. In San Antonio, it's KLUP 930 or KSLR 630. So if you're listening on the radio, go to our social media sites and check out the video. It's fun to watch, isn't it? Also, if you're watching on video, check out the radio station. It's fun to listen on Saturdays at 11 o'clock in the morning or Sundays at 4:30 in the afternoon. Today, for the Financial Focus, we have Jacob Warren again. He is with Financial Planning HQ, and he works alongside his father, Steve, and his brother, Joseph, to create inspiring financial strategies for families and business owners in San Antonio. Jacob has been a financial advisor for 10 years and is passionate about helping business owners plan their financial success. Jacob loves the outdoors and, most importantly, being a husband to his wife, Catherine, and father to his two kids, Arthur and Camille. Welcome back.
Thank you, Todd. It is great to be here. Wishing everyone a happy new year. It is the 31st, so heading into 2026.
Right. Yeah, we're recording on New Year's Eve. This will air on January 3rd.
There we go.
But you like to talk about businesses and financial planning. So when should younger business owners start creating a plan for exiting the business?
That's a great question, and it's something that's overlooked a lot by younger business owners. But something to think about is that an exit strategy does not mean that you're quitting. It just means you're adequately setting up your business in the future. That way you have control when you leave. And I think a good time to start thinking about, hey, what's going to happen when I don't want to stay in the business or if I want to sell it is once you've created a business that has sustained some long-term growth, has good positive cash flows, you want to start thinking about those items. So really, in short, the earlier, the better. I know, being a younger business owner myself, it's kind of, I'm not going to worry about 30 years from now. It's so far away,
right.
But that's going to get here fast. And the earlier you start doing things, the better. And something that if you're on the fence that you can consider doing is what's called an informal business valuation. It's a lot less expensive than a formal one. And it can just give you an idea of what kind of money you could expect if your business is even a business that somebody would consider buying, things like that.
Yeah, that's great. And I think starting early reminds me of the 7 habits of highly successful people.
Right.
And one of the habits is begin with the end in mind.
Right. Yep. Oh, that's very, very smart. Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of business owners again, for someone who doesn't plan to retire or sell their business, what type of planning should they do?
Right. And if I'm correct, you fall into that boat, right?
I do.
You want to work forever.
I love what I do.
Of course,
and I think
yeah.
most business owners feel that way.
Yes. And that's the way I feel as well. We align on that, Todd. But I think a big issue and something that gets overlooked is that most business owners are forced to exit their business by things that are an accident or out of their control.
Right.
So whether that's burnout, a big one is, health issues, right? We all get older, things happen. Cash flow issues, something happens to where your business isn't as viable as it once was. We've seen that with the one everyone thinks about is Blockbuster, right? Things become old. And then also a hot topic now is jobs that AI can easily do in 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
When people that have been doing these for 30, 40 years that are just all of a sudden not viable as AI becomes more and more of a thing that everybody uses. So just being cognizant of those things, and just the fact that you want to continue in your business, continue growing your business, well into the later part of your life, that's not a reason why you shouldn't have a plan in place for if something does happen that, you know who you're going to sell your business to, or you have someone in mind in the business who could take over. And I did want to throw out we were just talking about an AI stat that I looked for them when I was typing this out. I was thinking about it. What percentage of business owners are forced to exit by accident? It's roughly half of them. So definitely something that you want to be thinking about, and having that plan can easily avoid things like this happening.
Yeah. So even though I don't plan on retiring, I still save money
Of
in
course.
case something bad happens.
Right.
And so that's part of a good financial plan.
It definitely is 100%.
What are some things that business owners should be aware of, or if they're planning to exit their business?
The biggest one, I'm going through this with one of my clients right now, is having clean financials. So if somebody comes in and says, "Hey, I want to buy your law firm, Todd,"
Mm-hmm.
the first thing they're going to look at is your books and say, is it organized? Do I understand what the cash flows are, what the break even is, profit and loss, all of that stuff. So the number one thing is definitely having clean financials. And messy books can really, really decrease your business valuation when somebody wants to come in and look at that. If they,
Mm-hmm.
even if your business is crushing it, if your books are a mess, they're going to offer you way less than what your business is actually worth. So that's a big part of it. Another one is showing a real profit as opposed to just kind of making it work out so you're paying less taxes, which I think a lot of business owners do. And so showing the real profit, separating your business and personal expenses is a big one. But really the clean financials is super important. And a good way to do that, Todd, is to have a great team of advisors behind you, a great attorney, a great CPA, a bookkeeper, financial advisor, all these people working to make sure that you're extremely organized, especially if you're planning to sell your business at some point. Having that set up for yourself is a big green light, good thing to do.
Yeah, it's a must have. When I was first starting, an attorney that was sort of a mentor for me suggested the number one factor for your success is having a good CPA.
Yep.
Because you don't want to get behind on taxes.
Yep. And I think that's something that business owners, happens to a lot of business owners, successful or not, is the taxes part of it. They don't save because they're not told to, and it's business owner taxes are a lot more complicated than W-2. So it's something overlooked.
And that other thing that you mentioned with business owners not wanting to show a profit, that can bite them in the backside.
Yes.
If they're trying to get financing, because then the bank wants to see your profit.
Right. I've seen that a lot of when people are trying to buy houses. I've seen that before. So definitely something you want to be aware of, especially like I said, if you do plan on selling your business at some point, it's something that you want to know the ins and outs of for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some different types of exit strategies?
Yeah. So the most common would be, sell to a third party. Somebody notices your business, or they're in a competing business, or they're wanting to get into the business that you're in, and they come in and say, "Hey, I want to buy your business. What can you show me so I can create a valuation for it?" That's the most common. Another is selling to people that are trusted within your business, right? So if you have for your example, if you had to have a young attorney who you're working with, you could see like this person can continue on with the law firm without me, selling to them. And then another is kind of similar to that, but having a professional manager, somebody who kind of just steps in, takes over the day-to-day operations, and you take a step back. Those are the common ones. But all three of these kind of go back to what we were talking about earlier. All three of those rely on you being very organized, having your books cleaned up. And a good thing to do if you're planning on selling your business is put yourself in the shoes of the person buying the business, right? You're going into a business, you're putting your hard-earned money into it. You want to make sure and know with certainty that this is something that I should be buying and it's worth it.
Right.
So I think that's a good way, if you're planning on selling, to just kind of think of it on the other end of the spectrum and be like, okay, if I'm coming in, I want to make sure that the numbers make sense and there's a lot of organization.
And if you think about your family, if I'm killed and I want my family to inherit my share of the business, I don't want them to have to sell at a low price.
Right.
I want them to get the most value out of it.
That's a very, very good point. Yeah. So all of this kind of goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning, is really, especially if you're younger and you have a lot of time, getting all of that structure in place is very, very smart and can save yourself a lot of headache down the road.
I feel young, but I don't know how much time I have left. I mean,
Same.
Only the Lord knows.
Yep.
So what can you do to help someone who's interested in this?
First step is an initial phone consultation, and I'll give out my phone number here towards the end of the segment. But what that is basically, it's just a conversation. We'll talk a little bit about your business, see if I'm able to help, and if we're a good fit, there's a good mesh on the phone there, we can schedule what's called a financial roadmap meeting. I've mentioned that, I think, in all of my segments so far. the financial roadmap is really the crux of our business. It's what we offer to all of our clients, whether they're younger or they're retiring, business owner, non-business owner. And what that is it's just an hour-long conversation. It's a couple, husband and wife. We talk about values, we talk about goals, get everything out in the open. That way we're all on the same page. And from there, if we're fit to work together, I'll, go through what that looks like. But the financial roadmap consultation is extremely valuable, whether we do business or not. It's great. I'm married. It's great for my wife and I to be on the same page, know how we do money, because everybody is so different. And I think as this relates directly to business owners, it's even more valuable because we talk not just the personal finance side of it, but also you get that extra business side of the financial planning, which is obviously super valuable.
Yeah, if the business owner wants to do better financially every year, you have to figure out how to make the business grow financially every year as well.
Right. They're very much tied together. So it's kind of 2 for 1 there. Yeah.
Do you have any resources for our listeners?
I do. So I usually charge for my consultations, but of course, if anyone's listening to Talk Law Radio and they want to call in, I'm happy to have that complimentary consultation with anybody. If you do want to speak to me about it, my direct line is 210-444-2128. Again, that's 210-444-2128.
Great. Well, thank you for joining me today for the Financial Focus. Have a happy new year.
Yes, you too. Thank you so much, Todd.
In the beginning, God had one law: don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then he gave Moses the 10 Commandments. And now we have municipal, state, and federal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws, laws that might impact you without you knowing it. So listen to Talk Law Radio every week on the radio, on Facebook Live, or on YouTube. By the way, go to YouTube and search for Talk Law Radio so that you can subscribe, so that you can listen to the show while you're walking the dog, washing the dishes, or
Making tacos.
building something in the garage.
Yeah.
Last segment, we were talking about the financial focus, business owners.
Yeah, with Jacob.
And it made me remember a movie,
Okay.
the Christmas Vacation movie.
Yeah.
With Chevy Chase.
Yes.
Clark Griswold.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what Clark asked his brother or his cousin Eddie for Christmas?
Yes, I do. And he got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
His boss.
To his chagrin.
With the big bow.
Right. Yeah.
And it was all about whether the boss was going to give him a Christmas bonus or not.
Right.
And that's a big business decision.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the employees should just be entitled to that.
Yeah, there's a lot there. We could have a whole hour just on that. There's a deep philosophical issue in that scene.
The business
Several.
has to do well.
Right.
I mean, I guess we just assumed that their business was thriving.
Right. But it was a very appropriate scene for the time. I mean, they were different times. You know,
Right.
and then they gave us that happy ending. The boss, you know, spoiler alert
right.
to, is it 20? How old is that movie now?
It's pretty old.
Yeah, spoiler alert, but everything works out in the end.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
It is.
Today's show is going to be about past and future. How was your 2025 and what are your plans for 2026? And we will have to talk about some very serious hot button issues.
Yeah.
But first, I wanted to talk about the new year. Today's New Year's Eve. We're recording early because I'm going hog hunting with my son and his friends this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And so Happy New Year. I know it happened a few days ago for those of you who are listening to the radio. So tell me about some of your New Year's traditions.
That sounds dangerous, hunting a hog. They're big, aren't
Yes,
they? Are they the ones with the big horns on their
tusks?
Tusks, thank you.
Like this, yes. It is dangerous if you run into them. We try and shoot them from far away.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, there are times I've chased a hog into the brush.
Mm-hmm.
Not recommended, but I
Right.
was much younger then.
Right. Don't do this at home, kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's good. A good bonding time, I suppose. And all your important documents are all in order. So
yes.
if God forbid anything were to happen to you and everything's squared
yeah,
away.
and I have the pet trust for Lexi.
Right.
If I pass away, my life insurance pays money to her trustee.
Yeah.
Who is going to use the money to pay for the monthly bark box, the monthly beauty appointment,
Right.
the vet bills, the dog food, the what are those treats called? Bully sticks.
Right. Yeah. You've taken care of everything.
Yeah, and if there's money left over when she passes away, then the rest of the money is supposed to start the Marquardt Chihuahua farm.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it called that?
That's what it will be called. We haven't created it yet, but that's my legacy, is the Marquardt Chihuahua farm.
Fascinating. This was not on your outline, but I'm so glad you're going here.
Yeah.
If you had an outline, I didn't see it.
Right.
Very, very cool.
Well, I want to talk about New Year's.
Oh, no. We have got to know the mission of the Chihuahua farm, Marquardt Chihuahua farm. You cannot leave that big of a cliffhanger.
Years ago.
You don't know tomorrow. If you
That's right. Years ago, there was a news story out of Arizona about there was a pack of Chihuahuas running the streets in some Arizona town. I don't remember which one.
Yeah.
And I just felt terrible that they had to be homeless.
Right.
You have a love for the homeless.
Unhoused, yeah,
compassion
true.
for unhoused.
Right.
Well, the unhoused Chihuahuas were something
terrorizing the neighborhood.
Well, that's what the story said, but if you're too hungry, you get hangry.
Sure. Yes.
So that you can't fault them for that.
Right.
I mean, they go to the pound if they bite somebody.
Right.
So that was part of it. And then my sister-in-law found a Chihuahua at her workplace. She used to manage an apartment complex, and somebody brought her this Chihuahua and said, "We found this, this poor Chihuahua."
Yeah.
And so she called. I said, "Yeah, I'll take it."
Uh-huh.
And
Oh, I remember now the name of your that
he-
first Chihuahua. Yeah.
well, he wasn't the first.
Killer or something like that.
Killer was one of my first,
Yeah.
but this was Eddie.
Uh-huh.
He looked kind of like that dog on Frasier.
Uh-huh.
You ever watch Frasier?
Yeah.
He wasn't the same type of dog. Of course, if you watch Frasier, you know that wasn't a Chihuahua.
Yeah.
But he had the same colors, and
Uh-huh.
so we named him Eddie.
Yeah.
He was a good dog.
Yeah. So it's a benevolent, it's like kind of like a shelter to take.
Yeah, but I think part of the Arizona story was that people would get Chihuahuas, find out that they weren't
Right.
so nice to live with, and then
Right.
just like put them out on the street.
Yeah.
Which brings me to another point. There's a new Texas law that makes it easier to evict people that are squatting.
Right. Yes.
People that have no right to be in a house.
Right.
They're not paying rent.
Right. Much more expedited.
But
right.
back to New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
My mom's mom, my mama, her tradition was that we had to eat a spoonful of black-eyed peas.
Oh.
It's good luck.
Yeah, I've heard
So
that.
I continue that tradition.
Wow.
If you want to partake on your way home from the radio station,
Uh-huh.
stop off at the grocery store and buy just a can of black-eyed peas. Most kids don't like them.
I thought you were going to invite me over for dinner, and you're inviting me to go get a can of peas for myself.
We don't really do much. We're not very exciting. The funniest thing that we like to do, that's tradition we started a few years ago, is put tiny hats on the dogs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so I was hoping that my other family members would pick up that.
Are you going to post it?
I will, yeah, of course. I don't know if we still know where they are, from years past. So I might go to Walmart and
get
see what they have.
A new hat. Yeah, excellent.
Right.
I fully support this tradition.
So what's a tradition that you have?
I've eaten black-eyed peas before. I've heard about the 12 grapes. I don't really have a strict tradition, but I do usually make a New Year's resolution.
Oh, okay.
But with the understanding that I'm probably not going to achieve it.
And is it to go to the gym?
It's pretty much always to eat better, go to the gym. I did want to learn how to Dougie one year, and I have yet to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Mark was supposed to teach me how to Dougie, and he has failed miserably.
I sent you the how-to video.
Right, but it's not that easy. I mean, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Well, you look at the video.
Do you think you could do it?
Go in the mirror.
Okay, February 20th, Mr. Smarty Pants. You will put action to your words. It's so easy.
Why February 20th?
It's just a random date I picked because it's plenty of time for you to learn how to Dougie.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'll try, and maybe I can Dougie and make tacos.
Yes, and then the audience can judge who did it better, because I'll try to.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
So you were talking about going to the grocery store and making food.
Yeah.
Well, I read a news story that said that there was a massive shredded cheese recall.
Oh, wow.
And if you watch my Todd's Taco videos on Facebook, you know that my sister told me that they put a chemical in the shredded cheese bag to keep the shredded cheese from clumping together.
I think that's true. Yeah.
And so she doesn't like to consume products that aren't food.
Right.
And
she'll grate the cheese instead
of
the convenience of the bag.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what I started to do.
Yeah.
But I think it was last week. I didn't do this video, but I made a taco And we didn't have any block cheese. We didn't have any bagged shredded cheese. But we did have like this sandwich cheese, and it was Swiss cheese.
Okay.
And so
My least favorite
I just
cheese.
put 2 pieces of Swiss cheese on my tortilla.
Uh-huh.
Then somebody had made some meat with something, and so I just warmed that up and ate it. It wouldn't have made a very good
That would
taco
not have been a
video.
great video, except it would have been funny to go down and read the comments of everybody roasting you about a Swiss cheese taco.
Right.
Okay, Savia.
Yeah, that if I heated it up, it could be a quesadilla, I guess. So we are going to talk about new Texas laws
Okay.
that are already passed, but their effective date is January 1st. And we're going to talk about some federal legal issues that have already started in 2025 and that are going to continue in 2026. We're going to talk about some sinners, and maybe you can think of a saint.
You're the saint for this Chihuahua farm.
Well, I was hoping you knew who the Catholic saint for the new year is.
Oh, I can check it out.
Okay, we'll come back after the break with the Catholic saint for the new year. And I have some things to talk about in the legacy segment as well. Jacob got me thinking about business owners, and so I wanted to talk about businesses and estate planning. This is Shannon Salmon, Shannon Roberta Salmon, also known as Shannon San Antonio. Find her on Instagram. Welcome back to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt. This is Shannon Roberta Salmon, and she's here talking with me about New Year's and
All
what
kinds of things.
past 2025 and the future 2026. Before the break, we were discussing whether there was a saint for the new year, and let's talk about that after the Sinners and Saints song. Before we get to that, let me say the prayer. So this prayer comes from a book called Daily Insights with Zig Ziglar and Ike Reinhard. And it has like the date and then just a devotional. And I was reading this on December 29th, and I thought it was a good devotional for the new year. The Bible verse is, what great nation is there that has God so near it as the Lord our God is to us, for whatever reason we may call upon him, from Deuteronomy 4:7. So that's the Old Testament. You know both the New and the Old Testament, but I just wanted to point that out. And what I like about it is it says, when God prepared the people of Israel to enter the promised land. I don't know if I'm supposed to read. Is this copyrighted?
Oh, he'll be fine. He'll have to forgive you if he's a Christian.
Okay. So he gave them laws to direct their steps and signs to remind them to trust him. The laws prescribed their choices and consequences for disobedience. Unlike any other country ever created, the nation of Israel would be guided by God's decrees. For many years, God also gave them two undeniable signs: the tabernacle and the camp, and the pillar of fire and smoke over the tabernacle, to reassure them of his presence and guide them on their journey. But the reason that this story is here, I mean, the history of Israel, is because the reason I like it is because it says our nation's laws are derived from a long history of Judeo-Christian ethics.
Okay.
They provide an amazing balance of freedom and direction, reward and punishment. Throughout our history, secular and Christian leaders have called us to pray in difficult times of wars, famines, floods, and earthquakes, and to give much thanks for God's wonderful blessings of peace, prosperity, family, and homes. So that's my prayer today for all of us listening and all of us in the studio, is to seek God's guidance for the new year and ask for forgiveness for 2025.
Okay. Love it. But with acknowledgement that the establishment clause is a beautiful thing in the Constitution, and you don't have to have a religion. You don't have to have a state set religion.
Right.
The beauty of our system is that we believe that your relationship with God is so sacred and sanctimonious that the
Mhm.
government should not be involved. There should not be any kind of, there's a separation of church and state.
Right. Got it.
¿Me entiendes, Mendes? So like we're tracking together, I'm pretty sure.
But I can still pray if I
Of course,
want
that's
to.
of course. I mean, that's the beauty of, yes.
Yeah. So we like to talk about religion a little bit on the show. And of course, my beliefs are already out there that Jesus died for our sins and we're forgiven and absolved. So here's the sinners and the saints. Because we're not wearing that. This is the Brady Bunch dance. Okay, so the sinners and the saints. You've probably heard me talk about Martin Luther and the 95 Thesis. He says that we're all sinners, but we're forgiven and absolved because of what Jesus did for us, dying on the cross, forgiving us of our sins. So I want to talk about a sinner who was, three men were arrested in Austin.
Oh, that was the prayer? We did the prayer already?
Yeah.
Oh, I was wait. I mean, it's good. I'm not criticizing you. That
It
it was a
more,
good one.
I should have said devotion.
Yeah. Oh no, I gotcha.
So
Thank
there
you.
were three men arrested in Austin for suspected gift card fraud, estimated at 14 million.
Wow.
So be careful. This is also a hidden legal issue blind spot. If somebody calls you on the phone and says you're going to be arrested unless you give them a gift card, that's fake. That's a fraud.
Mm-hmm.
That's a crime.
Mm-hmm.
The other sinner I want to talk about is a guy that was arrested. Let's see, where was he? In Porter. I guess that's probably near Houston. Accused of kidnapping a 15-year-old girl who was walking her dog on Christmas Day. Authorities say her father was able to track her phone and found her in the partially nude man's truck nearly 2 miles away. You can find that on Fox 26 Houston. That's where I saw the story. And this is where it gets serious,
Mm-hmm.
because there's been some missing children
Mm-hmm.
reported in San Antonio.
Right.
And everybody in my family has just been beside themselves about it.
Right.
I have a young daughter. You
Right.
have a young daughter.
Right.
And so what's happening?
Yeah.
What do you think that this is becoming more prevalent? More common?
Prevalent.
Yes. Do you worry about her? Your kids?
Well, of course, every parent worries. What do you think? You answer first.
I don't know. I guess I just wanted the listeners to know that maybe it's happening. Maybe pay closer attention to your children.
Here's why I pause, because when I was raised, it was just starting. I mean, we lived in a different world. I'm an older lady,
Hmm.
but it was starting. So we were raised, to believe we were going to be kidnapped at any time.
My mom had the same conversation with me.
I'm surprised I wasn't kidnapped, actually. I mean, they taught us all these things. We were supposed to kick out the tail light
Nobody
when
taught me that.
no.
I didn't learn that until I was already an adult, and I learned it from a comedian on TV.
Yeah.
But I guess he was talking about the same thing, the
Yeah.
same assembly
The
that you
training,
had
yeah.
at school. But
Yeah.
we didn't have that assembly, so I would have just stayed in the trunk, I guess.
The part that there's so many things I just don't know, as an older person. So I probably don't even know fully all the dangers of the world that my
Mhm.
children are confronting, that they're gonna have to deal with. It is something new and different where I think children are being lured more because
Mhm.
there's something about, the vulnerability of a child's mind and then
Right.
the lure of social media and how your child has access to the whole world now. So that's something brand new. I don't
Right.
have the data to say whether it's getting worse or not. I have a general sense that it does feel like things are happening that would here's a great example. We didn't have a word for school shootings or mass
Right.
shootings. Like
Right.
this was not a phrasing where we put those things together, school
Right.
and shooting. So this is something brand new.
Yeah.
And now it seems like we have one every
Well, there's a
week.
new Texas law. Maybe this is related to predators going after kids on social media. A new Texas law, Senate Bill 2420, the App Store Accountability Act, targets app stores, developers. It requires them to verify users' ages and impose possible restrictions regarding accessibility through user categorization system. It would also require developers to manage parental consent for minors' app downloads and in-app purchases.
I've kind of been picking up on your subtle clues that you kind of are opposed to big government and you open your show with they won't stop making new laws.
Yeah.
But what do you think about this law? Like, is this does this sound good to
Well,
you?
I don't know. I'm conflicted because I do
It
believe
is
in
yeah.
limited government.
Yeah.
Before this law, when my kids were getting into cell phones and social media, the the mobile carrier had some tools for parents where we could restrict certain sites and we could restrict the times that they could access the social media.
Mhm.
And so we used those tools. And so I think the first line of defense is for parents to pay close attention. Don't let the kids just use the phone for whatever they want. You can
Mhm.
ask them. Actually, I told my kids, that's my phone. You can use it.
Right.
But if I want to look at it, I will.
Yeah.
And they knew that there were restrictions and they would complain about it. But so I'm deflecting from how I feel about this law because I'm conflicted with it. I do want to protect my kids. I don't want to rely on the government because a lot of times government laws like this are inefficient and the apps will just develop around the law.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a break.
Good answer, Todd.
But before we do, I wanted to ask you about the Catholic saint for New Year's Eve.
Oh yeah, I
And your
looked it up.
laptop went asleep. I know you want to be accurate about what it is, so go ahead.
It says here Pope Saint Sylvester the First. I wonder if they called him Sly.
Right. The person I immediately think of is Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
If I was imagining him in a Pope hat, that would be my
Well,
saint.
thanks a lot. Now I'm doing that.
We have to take a break. We'll be right back. We'll talk about legacy. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Talk Law Radio. Now it's time to discover your hidden legal blind spots by listening to me talk about the law on the radio with Shannon Roberta Salmon. I'm still going to ask you, what are your plans for 2026? But first, we have to talk
I
about.
told you I'm going to learn how to Dougie.
I'm going to talk about another center in Houston. They're having a problem with dead bodies being found in the bayou.
Oh, wow.
Have you heard about
Do you
that?
have anything nice to say today?
I
Anything
do.
happy in there?
I will.
Anywhere?
I'll try and think of something.
And I was promised a prayer and I got a devotion and
Yeah.
come on, man.
Well, the city of Houston keeps wondering if there's a serial killer
Okay.
because people keep ending up in the bayou.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's probably the Chihuahuas,
if
actually.
you have any information that leads to the arrest or conviction of this person, call Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers was one of my guests.
Yeah, I saw that.
They
Yeah.
pay a reward,
Yeah.
and you can remain anonymous.
Yeah, they're a really that was a really good show. I liked that one.
Cool. So now it's time for our legacy segment.
I liked your show with that Sandy. How do you say it? Gennaro.
I'll have to
Gennaro Gennaro. That was a really good one.
She says, "Howdy."
What? Oh, but I'm talking about the drummer.
No. Right.
Yeah.
the drummer.
I'm talking about the drum. That was a really good
Okay.
show. That was a good one.
Yes.
People need
He
to watch
was-
that one.
He was the best.
Yeah. So interesting.
Yeah.
So humble.
If you want to learn how to beat the odds in business and life, I'll get you his book.
Oh yeah, I would like that. Thank you.
So did we do the bumper music already? Okay. So this is the legacy segment, and I want you to share what's going on in 2026 besides Dougie.
Okay. I decided to run for a judicial position here. So I'm on the ballot for County Court 10 here in Bexar County, and any registered voter can vote for me. The early voting starts February 17th.
Do you have a slogan?
I do, and my family is really giving me a lot of grief about it, and I just love my slogan. And
But you don't want to say it.
I can't.
because-
Well, they always say it's bad, and I mean they're
okay.
smarter than me. They probably know, but it's what comes out of my mouth. I mean, this is the way I talk. I always
Yeah.
go, "We got this, Bexar County." I mean, it's just kind of
Okay.
what is in my head, and so that's
Yeah.
what I go with. And
Okay. Cool.
but they tell me that. What do you think?
I
I can see in your
like-
eyes you don't like
I
it.
like it for something, but it doesn't say anything about how you would be a good judge.
Yeah, good point. Well, the other one that's more standard is firm, fair, compassionate. So I try to emphasize how I'm very community minded. And of course, you have to apply the law fairly to
Mhm.
anybody that's in the jurisdiction, any
Right.
Bexar County resident. You know how the justice, Lady Justice has the blindfold on.
Right.
You're not supposed to see anything, political affiliation,
Right.
race, gender, whether you have money or not. And so you just have to apply the laws fairly,
Great.
equally to everybody.
You should do a TikTok with a blindfold on.
I'll think about that. Thank you for your
Well,
suggestion.
Tell us what kind of cases does County Court number 10 oversee?
They do all civil cases. There was a time they do have some authority to do criminal cases, but it doesn't happen very often. There was a brief time in COVID where things got a little overwhelming and they did a little bit. They were helping out with the criminal docket, but they're all civil. It's a civil court. And there's JP Court, which
Just as the piece.
correct. And then they have the county courts at law, which I see them kind of in the middle. And then at the very top, you have the civil district courts.
Mhm.
So they're hearing car accidents, but it's going to be a lower dollar amount that's not going to make it up to the jurisdiction
Depends
of the.
on what they're suing for.
Exactly.
The amount of damages.
Right. So smaller contract disputes, business law, things like that. But a lot of eviction cases. So you can see why that really touches my heart, because I care so much about the unhoused population
Right.
there. But then you have to balance that against, I care about people like you as well. And what if you were a business owner and you owned rental property and
Right.
you had some squatters in there and it was going to take you a whole month and cost you $10,000 to get them out of there? So you have to be, it's the law, but when you can, compassion.
Okay. Great.
Thank you for
You're
giving
welcome.
that listening. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, part of legacy are my affairs in order. And
Right.
if I'm a business owner, then the business has to be in order. So, because I was talking to Jacob about business owners and financial planning, I was thinking about businesses and estate planning.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are some myths. I have a will. Why do I need an estate plan? Well, a will doesn't address everything that could go wrong. What if I become disabled or incapacitated? I once had a friend who worked for a plumbing company, and
This better be a happy story, Todd
She-
Marquardt. I tell you what.
she was in management. She was in management, but something
And
tragic
everything was fine. The end.
happened to the owner. Sometimes they have to do plumbing underneath the house, and
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what happened, but
Yeah.
he ended up being incapacitated. And so how was the business going to run? Well,
Yeah.
a will is a death instrument.
Yeah.
What two things have to happen in order for a will to be useful?
Right. There has to be a decedent.
You
Yeah.
have to die,
Yeah.
and a judge has to verify that it's valid.
Yeah.
So there's other parts to an estate plan, like power of attorney, medical power of attorney.
Right.
And there's other documents that you might need if you have business partners, like a buy-sell agreement.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to debunk that myth.
Yeah. I'm
Myth-
tracking with
Myth
you.
number 2, my family will automatically take over the business if something happens to me. That's wrong, because if you don't have a document that says my family can take over the business, then it can't. That old saying, where there's a will, there's a way?
Yeah.
Well, if there's no will, there's no way, except through probate court and determination of heirship.
Uh-huh.
And then somebody might be taking over your business that you really don't want to be involved. What if they have no business skills? Yeah, so these are big things that you need to talk to a professional about.
Have you always been a planner? You plan ahead?
I don't know. I'll have to consider that question.
It seems to come to you. I as your friend, I would say yes. I'm not inside your head, but
Yes, thank you for that, Dr. Salmon, my psychiatrist. It does bring me back to high school when I had to plan my route.
uh-huh.
Like, how can I avoid all of the thugs
Uh-huh.
that were going to give me a hard time on my way to class?
Right.
And I had to plan to be in AP classes for my own safety.
Yeah.
Because then I wasn't in with the general population.
Yeah.
Smarter kids were less likely to pick on the skinny white boy.
Okay. Yeah.
And I hate to bring race into this.
No, you're
but-
fine. You do appear white on the outside. People don't know
Okay.
your ethnic inside.
Great.
What's a reverse coconut? Like what's white on the outside and
brown on the inside?
because you're so here, you're so southwest.
Thank you for that.
Well, yeah, you are.
I did have, friends of all races, so I don't.
Anyone
try
that
not
can
to
properly
dwell on
pronounce
that.
tortilla and Roberta,
Well,
you're not fully
you-
white anymore.
You had to teach me, and I don't think I say
You're South Texan.
tortilla. But funny that you bring that up. We have a street here in San Antonio called Blanco.
Uh-huh,
You say Blanco. Well, when I got here from New Mexico, we called it Blanco
yeah, but
because that's the Spanish word.
you're right. You're correct.
And so we were confused.
Yeah. My friend just got in from Mexico and she was telling me about this cool new clothing store and I've got to go there. I've got to go there. You haven't heard of it, Shannon? It's Plato. And oh, wow. I was going, finally it gets, oh, you mean Plato's closet? Oh, yeah, I know about that one. Thank you.
I've heard about
Yeah.
it on the radio. That's so great. But is there a Spanish word, plato?
Yeah, you know that, like a plate.
Oh, okay.
You know
I
that
didn't
word.
take Spanish. I took German.
I'm pretty sure you know plato. If I put you on the south side right now and you wanted a taco plate, you'd
My
say,
friends only taught me very limited words, but the one that was funny to me was pantalontes.
yeah. Why do you like that?
Well, because we say pants, but there's a longer word in Spanish for the same thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I can't tell you the other words that they taught me. It's not appropriate for
Right. But
radio.
they came in handy when those bullies were after you, I bet.
No,
No.
I just tried to get out of there. But they did teach me a song. Todos estamos aquí. Todos estamos aquí.
Uh-huh.
Así aprendemos, así no problemos. Todos estamos aquí.
And people thought they were going to get their hidden legal issues
did.
and they got a song
In
as a
addition-
bonus.
So that
This is great.
so tell us what I said.
We're all here. Todos estamos aquí. We're
Right.
I blanked out on the rest part.
Right.
Todos estamos aquí.
Así aprendemos, así no problemos.
This is how we learn with no problems.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Now you've learning Spanish on Talk Law Radio.
I hope people are liking this. I sure am having fun.
Yeah, I told you we would have fun.
Yeah, I do.
I like your 2026 to-do list. I think that I'm going to do more of the same,
Okay.
more shows.
Okay.
I had 65 original episodes this last year. And so
I'm convinced you don't sleep.
let's see if we can hit 70.
I don't know how
Let
you
me
do
know
this.
what you want me to talk about. Email me at host@talklawradio. That's HOST@Talk Law Radio. Thank you for joining me. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Todd. Happy New Year, Mark. Happy New Year, viewers.
Bye.
Most families don't realize they have hidden legal blind spots until it's too late. Wills, trusts, Medicaid planning, even protecting a business. These are the kinds of issues attorney Todd Marquardt helps uncover before they become problems. Todd is the host of Talk Law Radio, where each week he guides listeners through the legal challenges families, veterans, and business owners face, while showing them the practical steps to protect what matters most. Catch Talk Law Radio, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, 6:30 a.m. The Word, and now in Houston on AM 1070 and 103.3 FM The Answer, or anytime on YouTube. Planning isn't just about documents. It's about peace of mind, security for loved ones, and building a legacy that lasts. Don't wait for a crisis. Do it before you die.